Good morning, students. In the previous lecture, we completed our organic chemistry, our chapter number 13, hydrocarbon, with whole exercise. Now, in this lecture, we are going to start your part 1, chapter number 6, that is thermodynamics. Okay. There are total 3 chapters which are related to each other in your 11th and 12th. Among them, the first one is thermodynamics, second one is equilibrium, and the third one will be your 12th, chemical kinetics. These 3 chapters are linked to each other. Okay. Now, let's discuss about thermodynamics. Okay. Obviously, this is the particular portion of the physics. Okay. So, this includes in the physical chemistry. Now, before we start our lecture, there was something Einstein told us about the thermodynamics, which was a very beautiful thing. Okay, what does Einstein stated? He said that thermodynamics is the only physical theory of the universe concerning which I am convinced that within a framework of the applicability of its basic concepts, it will never be overthrown. Thermodynamics is the only concept in the science, in the use of science. These concepts is never going to be old, or we cannot ignore thermodynamics at any cost. We cannot ignore thermodynamics. That was what Einstein told us about. So, if this much star scientist Albert Einstein said us not to ignore thermodynamics, so how can we ignore thermodynamics, right? So, I hope every single one of you is going to pay a very clear attention what I am saying and what I am trying to make you understand. So, please pay attention so that there will be no doubts, because these chapters are very easy compared to the organic chemistry. Okay, let's do this. Chemical energy stored by molecules can be released as a heat during a chemical reaction when a fuel like methane, cooking gas or coal burns in the air. We know that in every single day we are using fossil fuels like coal, petrol, diesel, cooking gas, that means LPG, then CNG, methane. These all gases, when we burn any fuel, we know that the chemical energy stored inside that molecule is going to be converted into heat. Okay, it releases heat, and we use that heat as a completion of mechanical work, right? In the sense, when any chemical reaction occurs, there must be some of the change in the heat. Okay. The chemical energy may also be used to do mechanical work when a fuel burns in the engine, or to provide electrical energy through a galvanic cell like dry cell. Chemical energy is also being to convert into many other things. For example, we are using vehicle, then we are converting chemical energy into the mechanical work. After that, if we are talking about battery, the scientific name will be galvanic cell, dry cell, pencil cell. In that particular cell, we are converting chemical energy into electrical energy. So, there is just a change of the type of energy. Okay. Thus, various forms of energy are interrelated, as I told you, and under certain conditions, this may be transformed from one form to another form. We can transform energy from one form to the another form by any simple chemical or physical reaction. Study of this energy transformation forms the subject matter of thermodynamics. And now we are talking about the definition of thermodynamics. What is the definition of thermodynamics? The change in the form of energy between one form to the another form, that particular matter, that particular subject is main concern of the thermodynamics. The laws of thermodynamics deals with energy changes of the macroscopic system involving a large number of molecules rather than the microscopic system containing a very few molecules. Okay. There are two different partition in the physics. One will be quantum mechanics and one will be thermodynamics. Thermodynamics rules cannot be applied on the quantum mechanics, whereas quantum mechanics rule cannot be applied in the thermodynamics. These two are a very different on the scale level. That means in the thermodynamics we are talking about the bulk quantity. Bulk quantity means we have a very large number of molecules. We are talking about tons of tons molecules over here. Whereas in the quantum mechanics we talk about microscopic scale, a very small quantity of atoms, molecules, ions, etc. Okay. So in the thermodynamics, and the law of thermodynamics are relative to the macroscopic scale, not a microscopic scale. Thermodynamics is not concerned about how and at what rate these energy transformation are carried out. Thermodynamics do not have any single thinking about how one energy form is converted into another one. It do not have any problem with the rate of the reaction. That means in how much amount of time reaction is going to be completed. Thermodynamics do not have any single problem with that. It is not a concern of thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is the only study about a change of one form of energy into the another form of the energy. But it is based on initial and the final state of the system undergoing into the change. It only relates to the two steps, final step and an initial step. What was the energy form on the final step and the amount, and what is the energy form at the last stage or the amount of the energy. Law of thermodynamics apply only when system is in equilibrium or moves from one equilibrium state to the another equilibrium state. This thing is very much important and mostly every single teacher ignore that. Thermodynamics is only going to be applied on the equilibrium, or else a system which was on a one equilibrium and after that it was converted into another equilibrium. Okay. So from one equilibrium to the another equilibrium, we are going to discuss about thermodynamics. Macroscopic properties like pressure, temperature do not change with time for the system in equilibrium state. If any system is at equilibrium, that means it do not going to be produce more product or it do not going to use more reagent. It will be in a constant proportion, right? So if there is a similar change from product to reagent, reagent to product, there will be zero change in the temperature and zero change in the pressure, right? In this unit, we would like to answer some of the important questions through the thermodynamics. Some of the very basic questions of the science will be answered by thermodynamics in this chapter. It is a very easy chapter, okay? The first question is, how do we determine energy change involved in a chemical reaction or the process? If we are doing any chemical reaction, what will be the change in energy? That was the first question arise when we do any chemical reaction, right? Second question, is there any chemical change, is there any energy change available for that reaction? First question was, what will be the energy change? If there is a change of energy, Okay. Second question, what drives the chemical reaction or the process? Okay, what is happening into the system that a chemical reaction occurs? What is the reason behind the reaction? Why reaction occurs? That will be answered by thermodynamics. To what extent do the chemical reaction proceed? That means for how much long chemical reaction is going to occur? That question will be also answered by thermodynamics. So let's start thermodynamics with our first topic, thermodynamic terms. As you know, this chapter contains many different words, thermodynamic words, which will be useful to understand what they are trying to say. Okay, so that particular words, symbols of that word, and what that word stands for, that will be very important for us. That's why before we start any concept of the thermodynamics, we are going to understand some of the terms, some of the words of the thermodynamics. Okay, we are interested in chemical reaction and the energy change accompanying them. For this, we need to know certain thermodynamic terms as discussed below. Let's start this. First two terms are system and surrounding. First thermodynamic term is system and the second thermodynamic term will be surroundings. Okay. Now what is the system? Suppose I am teaching you on this laptop. So this laptop of mine will be my system. Okay. What will be the surrounding? The laptop surrounded by this room. So this room will be my surrounding. Okay. So in a scientific language, a system in thermodynamics refers to that a part of the universe in which observations are made. A part of the universe where chemical observations are going to be made. Okay, right now I am teaching you on this laptop. That's why this laptop will be my system, because I am observing it. Okay. A remaining universe constitutes the surroundings. That means universe will be equal to system plus surrounding. Okay. If this laptop is my system, other than this laptop is my surrounding. Okay. If laptop is my system, other than this laptop is my surrounding, a whole universe. Okay. Now be practical. Okay. If I am using this laptop over here, does this use of the laptop, this energy change of the laptop will do any change in the universe? No. This laptop cannot affect the universe. Okay. For example, your mom is cooking something in the kitchen. So smell of that particular cooking, can that smell be smelled at America, in the United States? No, it is not possible. It is not practical at all. So we have to decide our area of surrounding. Okay. So we are going to shrink our surrounding from remaining universe to the area affecting the system only. Okay. However, the entire universe other than the system is not affected by the change taking place in the system. As I told you, if there is anything happening with the system, a remaining universe is not going to be affected by it. Okay. Therefore, all practical purposes for the common thinking. Okay. The surroundings are that portion of the remaining universe which can interact with the system affecting surrounding. A area which is affected by system is known as a surrounding. a area which is affected by system will be known as a surrounding. Okay. Usually the region of the space in the neighborhood of the system constitutes its surrounding. As I told you, a region, a area which is affected by system will be known as a surrounding. Okay. So we learned two words. First was system. For system I am going to use symbol SYS, and for surrounding I am going to use word SURR. Okay. Now for example, let's make it more practical. If we are studying a reaction of two substances A and B kept in the beaker, the beaker containing the reaction mixture is our system. We are doing reaction in our beaker, so beaker will become our system. Okay. And the room where beaker is kept is our surrounding. For example, we are doing this chemical reaction in the laboratory, chemistry laboratory. So laboratory will be our surrounding, and the beaker or the test tube we are doing the reaction will be my system. Okay. The room where beaker is kept is our surrounding. Okay. After that, note that the system may be defined by physical boundaries like a beaker or test tube, or simply system may be defined by a set of Cartesian coordinates specifying a particular volume in the space. It is necessary to think of a system as a separated from the surrounding by some sort of wall. Okay. How can we differentiate between system and surrounding? Obviously with the boundaries. If there is no boundary, we have to imagine the boundary. Okay. Suppose, for example, I am burning coal in this room. I am burning coal in this room. Okay. So if I burn the coal in the open, so there will be no boundary between surrounding and the system, but I have to imagine that this particular area will have the coal, and in this area coal is going to be burned. I imagine it. Okay, I guess that this area, so that particular boundary is known as a boundary between system and the surrounding. Okay. If there is no boundary between system and surrounding, we have to imagine the boundary. Okay. Either with the Cartesian axis, that means x-axis, y-axis and z-axis for a volume, or you can use real boundaries like beaker have a real boundary, test tube have a real boundary. Okay. May be real or imaginary. As I said, the wall that separates the system from surrounding is called boundary. Wall is compulsory. System boundary will be compulsory to understand the change. This is designed to allow us to control and keep track of the all movements of the matter and energy in or out of the system. As I told you, if I want to study the change, I will need a boundary. Okay. Now, type of system. Which type of systems are there? Total 3 type of systems are there. It is very easy. The first is open system. Open system means any one of the boundary is open to the surrounding. Okay. For example, a compound kept in an open beaker, that will be my open system, because in the open system exchange of energy and matter between system and surrounding occurs. Open system can exchange matter as well as energy to the surrounding. This is your open system. You can see that over here. Okay. Heat or work or energy is going to be exchanged with system and surrounding. Either system gain heat, work or energy, or surrounding gain work, heat or energy. Likewise, we can add some matter into the system or we can remove some matter from the system. That will be the open system. The presence of reactant in an open beaker is an example of open system. Here, the boundary is an imaginary surface enclosing the beaker and the reactant. It is open from one side. Okay. Now our second system will be closed system. You can understand closed system by the word itself. Okay. In the closed system, no exchange of matter is allowed, but exchange of energy is possible. We cannot exchange matter in the closed system, but we can exchange heat throughout the wall. Okay. Look at this. This is our closed system. You can see that matter cannot be shared with surrounding, but energy can be shared with surrounding. Okay. The presence of reactant in the closed vessel made of conducting material. Vessel should be made up of conducting material like copper, steel. Okay. After that, our third system will be isolated system. In other words, your thermos bottle. If you add hot coffee into the thermos bottle or a cold water inside the thermos bottle, it is not going to be lose its temperature. The temperature will remain constant. That is called isolated system. Means no exchange of heat, no exchange of matter. Okay. In the isolated system, there is a no exchange of energy or matter between system and the surrounding. Okay. The presence of a reactant in the thermos flask or any other closed insulated vessel. Insulated vessel means energy cannot go out from the system or cannot enter into the system. That is example of isolated system. Okay. After that, a state of a system. What should a system look like? This is about what should a system look like. Okay. The system must be described in order to make any useful calculation by specifying quantitatively each of the properties. Okay. If we are talking about any system, how much information we are going to need? The first information we are going to need is quantitative information about the system. Okay, which type of quantitative properties? A very simple: pressure with a symbol P, volume with a symbol V, temperature with a symbol T, and quantity with a symbol N. You can see that over here, amount with a symbol N, right? So we got other short forms also. For pressure we are using P, for volume we are using V, for temperature we are using T, and for amount we are using small n. Okay. As well as composition of the system. Okay, how much reactants are there, how much products are there, that should be known by you. We need to describe the system by specifying it before and after the change. Initial stage and final stage should be known to you guys about the system. If we are talking about system, we must know pressure, volume, temperature, quantity, composition of the system, and final state and initial state of a system. You would recall from the physics course that the state of a given instant of time by the position and the velocity of each mass point of the system. Okay. Physics use a small quantity. As I told you, in this chapter we are going to use a large quantity. So we are going to make it easy. Like physics, we are not going to talk about a single mass point. We are going to talk about a bulk quantity. Okay. In thermodynamics, a different and a much simpler concept of a state of system is introduced. It does not need to detailed knowledge of motion of each particle, because we deal with average measurable properties of the system. We are not going to calculate with every single particle. We are going to calculate in a bulk quantity. So the properties we are talking about will be in the bulk quantity. So there will be no difficulties to understand it. We specify the state of the system by state function or state variables. So how much state variables are there? We studied 4 state variables: pressure, volume, temperature and the amount. Okay. The state of a thermodynamic system is described by its measurable or macroscopic properties. As I told you, macroscopic properties will be used. We can describe the state of a gas by quoting its pressure, as I told you, volume, temperature and amount. So 4 state functions, state variables have been discussed. So pressure, volume, temperature and amount, N is state variables, or you can say state functions, because their value depend only on the state of the system and not on how it is reached. They are depending only on the amount, only on the state of the system, not on the way. Okay. If I told you the temperature of the system is 50 degrees Celsius, doesn't matter how 50 degrees Celsius is obtained. You used coal, you used methane gas, you used petrol, doesn't matter. What matter is there is a 50 degrees Celsius. Doesn't matter how you obtain that temperature. Okay. In order to completely define the state function of the system, it is not necessary to define all the properties of the system. If you know the temperature, pressure, you can calculate volume and amount. There are formulas for that. Okay. So it is not necessary to know every single thing, as only a concerned number of properties can be varied independently. If you know enough amount of the properties, you can calculate others also. This number depends on the nature of the system. Once this minimum number of macroscopic properties are fixed, other automatically have definite values. The state of the surrounding can never be completely specified. You cannot talk about every single detail of the state function. Why? Because system have many different perspectives. We cannot discuss about every single thing over here. Okay. Fortunately, it is not necessary to do so, and we do not need it. We do not need every single information about system. We need just a sufficient amount of information. Okay. Our fifth state function will be internal energy. Our fifth state function will be internal energy. 4 state functions are there. Fifth one will be internal energy with a symbol E, or you can use the symbol U. Okay. Internal energy. When we talk about our chemical system to lose or gain energy, we need to introduce a quantity of which represents the total energy of the system. If we are talking about a chemical system, we will need addition of every single energy present for that matter. For example, that matter have some of the kinetic energy, some of the electrical energy, some of the mechanical energy, some of the potential energy. You have to add every single energy that compound, that system have, and the addition of all the energies will be known as the internal energy. Okay. Addition of all energy will be known as the internal energy of the system. It may be chemical energy, electrical energy, or any other type of energy you may think of. The sum of all these energies of the system is known as a internal energy. U is the symbol. Okay. Now how internal energy is going to change? If we add heat to the system or if we remove heat from the system. Obviously, if you add heat energy to the system, it is going to differ. If you remove heat energy from the system, it is going to differ. If you do work on the system or system does the work, if you add matter into the system or if you leave matter from the system. By these three particular points, internal energy can be changed. Okay, so that was all for the today's lecture. In the next lecture, we are going to understand what work is going to affect on internal energy. Okay, thank you so much.